any of this. Run it.
I got it on my phone.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Jesse Edgar, a.k.a. the OK Computer Guy. Jesse's based right here in Oklahoma City and is the only place you're going to find computer repair for as low as $40. It's no coincidence that Jesse's got a 5-star rating on Google. He's an avid listener to this podcast, so you know he's easy to talk to. He'll work with whatever it is that you need. Go like his Facebook page today at facebook.com/OKComputerGuy, where he's always doing contests and giveaways that you will not want to miss out on. So give Jesse a call today at 405-326-4011.
You're listening to Thunderheads, a podcast for Thunder fans by Thunder fans.
Welcome to Thunderheads. If you're tuning into YouTube Live, we are psyched to have you. I am Brandon Soul, joined by the Thunder Tie himself. It is Mr. Justin Wright.
I never meant to be so bad to you. One thing I swore that I would never do.
Is that Candlebox?
No.
Oh, no, that's a different song.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
It's Heat of the Moment by Asia.
There's nothing that sucks the life out of the podcast enough when none of us know it.
I will never get those, by the way.
Yeah, that one time.
What is it again?
Heat of the Moment by Asia.
No idea.
Don't know about
That's
that
an
one.
80s song.
Yep.
That sounds 80s. That sounds like the most 80s song.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I'm sure I
Power
know
ballad.
it. I just need to hear it.
Yeah.
Doctor's in the house. Rob Larson.
Hey, you guys milk drinkers?
Yes. Yes. I drank a lot of milk growing up.
How much does that expiration date mean to you?
Well, I think it's based on the smell, personally.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
Absolutely.
I agree.
So the expiration date, just a suggestion at that point.
I think most expiration dates are a suggestion. Are they not?
I don't. I go by the expiration date because
You
I
throw
don't
it
trust
out
it.
instantly?
Yeah.
But I've had milk where it'll be a couple days before the expiration. You smell it and you're like,
Oh,
this is terrible.
Yeah, I've done that before.
And then somewhere it's like 3 days past. You're like, this is so good, baby. I'm pouring this in my cereal right now.
Same's with bread. You check the bread. If it's not moldy, you eat it.
Yeah.
Do
And if
you
it's not
tear
hard.
off the mold if it has little?
No,
pieces?
absolutely not. I throw it away, all of it.
I've done that.
But also with bread, if it's way past the expiration date, it's not moldy, and it's still soft, I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah.
Some weird things have been pumped into this bread.
That's some GMO bread.
Yes, for sure. That man is the dark and stormy Jason Lewis.
Yes, sir.
Man, we got a really special, fun, stupid podcast for you guys today. We're having to get creative. We're doing an all-time Thunder draft right here on this podcast. We will explain the rules later. We have a few things to talk about beforehand. But first and foremost, it is going to be a really good episode. If you don't normally tune into the pod on YouTube, this is a good one for YouTube because we're going to have
Lots of graphics. today.
accompanying graphics. We have a draft board over here that we can see for ourselves. We have one on the screen for you guys to see, so it'll be really good.
It's a very graphic episode.
Yes.
But not in the sense of like dirty.
Oh, wait, it's not?
Well, it might be both.
Yeah,
You never know.
You might get a little nip slip. You never know what you might get on this
Janet
podcast.
Jackson.
Especially with Rambo.
That's true.
Oh yeah, I got nips for days, boys.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. I'll be honest with you. I panicked. He pointed at me. I panicked so hard. I only have 2 nipples. I just don't want people.
Well,
think,
I still pictured you only having 2 nipples, but I pictured,
It's really long.
I pictured them like wrapping around to the back, to his back, like almost to under his armpits.
Oh, this is starting out well.
Yes. Oh my god.
This is the disaster of the week.
Yeah.
So bad. All right, first let's start off with a little what's in the news, if you want to put it that way. Steven Adams, it's been what, a couple days since this has happened. Like to comment on an Instagram post of some NBA Instagram account, some not an official one, some fan account, saying it was a picture of Adams, PG, Westbrook, and Melo, saying which one of these guys, what was it, least important, most important to the Thunder success or something. It was something like that. And someone commented on the post and said, everyone but Melo, or something along those lines. And Steven
Good
Adams
comment.
liked the comment. Now, he said through a statement through the Thunder
Through the Thunder's PR guy.
that it was an accident. It was an accidental like. He's got big thumbs. Believe him?
Don't believe it for a second.
Man, if you're going to lie, you come up with something cool like, oh, yeah, no, I was just trying to like it just so I could show, when we get to training camp, like I want to show that to the guys, be like, hey, this is what we're working against. Like, Melo, like, this should motivate you, man, to be better. But no, I'm pretty sure it was just like he was probably just drunk and was like, "Oh, that's funny." Oh shit! I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
My bad.
Maybe didn't notice
Big
it for a while
thumbs.
because apparently it was like hours before it like was unliked or whatever. But
It does suck that you can't just have a little fun.
yeah, not anymore.
It's gonna get out there.
Fun's over.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think there's any way this was an accident. How? Like, how do you accidentally? I mean, know that I've accidentally liked something.
Well, then I
before.
just instantly unlike it.
But how is it so coincidentally?
Wait, but you don't really think it's like on purpose to the point where he was like,
I don't
it
think
was
it's malicious.
like a malicious thing.
No, I
Do
think
you?
it was in fun. I think like
I don't know. I mean, I think it was probably to the point where it struck something in him that says, yeah, I agree with this comment. Like,
maybe it might be because I mean he did have a problem with Melo's defense last year.
I mean, I doubt like NBA players on his level, on any level, that if you are an NBA player and you're on that level, I doubt you really care what some random fan on Instagram comments. Like, I know these guys read the comments. You're just going to naturally do that. But are you really going to read the comments and just start going through and liking random ones you think are funny? Like, I bet he saw this and was like, ha, boom. Like,
Yep.
I think that, I don't know. I agree. Because seems like we all agree. Seems like a lot of people agree with this. So that
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like his personality. Maybe I don't know him well enough just from interviews and stuff. Like, it just doesn't really seem like his personality, I guess. Like, to be funny, I would agree. Like, I think he would do that to sort of like be funny or like a little jab at Melo, but letting Melo know he did it. But to say that he fat fingered it is like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily to take a jab at Melo. I think it was him just agreeing with something he saw. And it was like, I agree with that. Like, I don't think he did it because he was like, I hope Melo sees I did this.
Right.
Although,
I don't think it's malicious.
it did
like
lead
that.
my mind to think, I mean, how often have we talked about already this summer about, playing chicken with Melo and getting him, running him
Just
out of
have
here.
all the players do it too.
Get
it
have
out.
everyone do it and see what you can do.
I'm just afraid that backfires to the point where Melo, like, just maliciously is like, I'm going to take them. Like, if there was some part of him that was like, maybe I shouldn't take the money because that's the right thing
Out
to
of
do.
spite.
Yeah, and just like being spiteful, like, no, I'm taking all that money. You guys can suffer without me.
That's the danger here. But I mean, that at least with that danger, it's not anything different than you're expecting, right? It's not like he's gonna, I don't know, nothing greater, nothing worse can possibly happen than him staying, right?
Yeah, you're already in the worst possible situation if he just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so if you're gonna have a plan, you better stick with it, just like any game plan in a game or whatever. Stick to the game plan and see what happens, because
Agreed.
it might. He's gonna take that money anyway, so let's see what we can do. And then the other thing we need to touch on before we get to this draft is these Woj reports that came out, basically confirming what a lot of us know. He said that the Thunder have a real shot at keeping Paul George. It's nice to hear this periodically when you hear reports come out, which he also said in the same podcast or whatever this was. I think it was a show, actually, that Paul George and LeBron are planning to meet up sometime this summer about potentially teaming up in L.A. Not because they want to team up in L.A., but because to see, hey, is this a good idea for us? Is this a good move for us?
Right.
Team up in L.A. And also that the Rockets are going to go strong after Paul George. Surprise? Any of this surprising to you guys?
I mean, it's pretty much like you said. It's kind of what we expected to happen. I
Are
think.
you surprised that the LeBron, like, that it's public? They plan to meet up about going to L.A.? Or is LeBron at a point in his career where he's like, I don't really care who knows what. My options are open. People are going to judge me anyways.
Yeah, and I think at this point, like, LeBron can pretty much do whatever he wants other than go to the Warriors, and everybody's going to be okay with it. Like, even people in Ohio are probably like,
Yeah, we got a championship. We're
and
good.
you're clearly not, like, getting anything here right now.
Yeah, George Hill's not going to get it done.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
working out.
Yeah, that's true.
What LeBron had is like college. He never went to college, so he has his Miami Heat college experience. Like, and it came from the decision, like a lot of kids, where they make this big like pick where they're going to college, kind of special, and they put
Right.
the hat on it. And so I think he's like learned a lot from that. So it's just like, I don't care what people know. Like, I'm just gonna make the decision that I feel is best for me,
Yeah,
and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I think that the scariest thing about all of these reports, I mean, because the scariest situation I think is if LeBron wants to go to LA, then PG's gone. There's no doubt about it.
That's terrible.
The second scariest situation if the Rockets are intriguing to Paul George, and if LeBron doesn't go there. That's the right? That's the other thing.
Agreed.
I don't know. Could you see, this is a little off topic here, but could you see Paul George going to Philly? Does that seem like an option?
I mean, I don't know if he will, but the fit would be
Seems like a good
like
fit.
basketball-wise, it would make a lot of sense. But
Yeah.
I just don't know.
It's definitely not something he had in mind, though.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like if he goes anywhere, it still seems like the Lakers are where he's going to end up. Like,
The thing about the Rockets, though, that scares me is I don't know if Chris Bosh said today that he thinks LeBron ends up in Houston, which I don't think he really keeps in touch with LeBron personally anymore, at least consistently. So I don't think he really knows. He's just thinking that gives LeBron the best chance to win.
right.
But I was thinking about it. Is Paul George a better fit in Houston than LeBron? Because you have
Doesn't need
James
the ball
Harden,
as much.
you have Chris Paul, two guys that, I mean, it's working in Houston, that aspect, that facet of their game. Those two guys handling the ball all the time. When you have two guys that are that good at handling the ball, it works. And
Yeah.
you throw in another guy that's that good at handling the ball, one of the best, some people argue the best of all time, it could get a little tricky.
Yeah.
Throwing a guy like Paul George, he might fit better.
Yeah, I think it would work really well for them. I don't want it to happen at all.
Yeah, so you'd rather just not talk about it?
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah, I was just curious about that. If you guys thought, like, if you were running Houston, I mean, obviously, if LeBron's like, I want to come there, you can't say no, right? You can't say no if you have both LeBron and Paul George wanting to come to your franchise.
You got to figure out how to make that work, right?
But what if
Like,
you
how do you-
can't?
yeah.
What if there's no chance to make this work because you want to keep Capella, you want to keep Chris Paul, you want to keep James Harden, obviously. If you can only pick one, you have to say yes to LeBron, but that might not be the best option here because it might not.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that there's a case to be made, but still, if you can get LeBron, you're
Yeah.
going to get LeBron. There's no way that you would take PG over LeBron. It's
That
just
would
not
be
gonna
kind of
happen.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're not going to get the consistency out of Paul George that you're going to get out of LeBron.
So with
Clearly.
those tweets, how are you guys feeling as of right now? I mean, we kind of already, those rumors were already out there that, obviously maybe he and LeBron will meet up in LA. Houston recently, there was reports before Woj had tweeted that, before he had sent any of that, there was already reports that Houston was going to be interested. So what's the level of confidence right now? Are you guys feeling confident? Still too early to tell?
Have you started-
Or is he's gone most likely,
I still feel like he's most likely gone, but in a weird way, I made that bet with you guys at the end of the season that he's gone, and I still feel like he's gone, but I feel a little better. And I don't know if it's this reassuring that's been done by guys like Woj and Paul George's consistency in saying this is a real option for me. And these little things make me feel a little bit better about the Thunder's chances.
So have you started like picking out a tattoo artist and like tattoo
I have not done
options,
that.
or-
I'm leaving that up to you guys.
Well, I sent you a couple ideas,
Yeah, we'll do something like it. I don't know. What about you guys? Like, do you feel better? Do you feel any different than you did at the last day of the season?
Part of me thinks it's just like the wounds have kind of healed after that early exit against the Jazz. That I've like the hope has started to creep in again.
Oh no.
And just like I feel good, like, oh yeah, no, like Thunder, that's a cool thing. I like that stuff. So I think part of it is just like the expectation that Paul George feels the same way about my team that I do.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's just still a little too early to know. I feel like he still doesn't know. But if I was to say, like, which way would he be leaning? Like, what do I feel like? Maybe he hasn't completely made up his mind, but he kind of already knows what he wants to do. I think he's gone. Like, I don't think he's coming back.
It's scary, man. It's scary, and it's gonna. Is it if he announces, on a day, July 1st, whatever, we find out June 30th, whatever the day is that we find out that
What if
Paul,
it's- what
Paul
if it's
George,
July 4th?
if it's July 4th.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
man.
will it be a big blow to fans? Will it? I mean, obviously it's a big blow to the franchise. Will it be? What kind of impact will it have on the fans? Or are fans expecting him to leave? Like, I feel like Justin, you're good to speak on this. Like, how will you feel if he leaves? Is it going to be like, yeah, I mean that's kind of what I figured, or is it going to be like, man?
I think it's I think it's actually kind of split. I think there's a big contingency that are just like, yeah, he's gone, and like trying to put it out of their mind. I think just from the scar of Kevin Durant leaving a few years ago, and then I think there are quite a few people that are like, there's just no way that this happens to us twice.
Right.
Yeah. The Thunder fans, I mean, the fan base is a little numb at this point, at least the ones that care, right?
Yeah, I've talked to a couple friends who like follow the team, and a couple of them have said, like if he leaves, like I'm gonna understand it. Like it's just gonna make sense. Like everybody can. Like when we got him, the whole thought process was it's a 1-year rental and he's probably gonna be gone. But good.
I mean, it seems like, honestly, it seems like the Thunder's last-ditch effort to say, all right, we're going to get Russell Westbrook, another superstar. We have an opportunity. We're going to do it. We know it's a huge risk, and we're bringing him in. And here we go. We have another star. If he leaves, then he leaves, and then we'll reevaluate things from there. We know eventually, by the time we're reevaluating things so much, Russ is going to be past his prime. And then we can really start looking ahead to the future if things don't work out.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of the way they planned it out.
So we put out a quick poll about that, just asking people how they feel confidence level-wise. Kind of interesting so far. I mean, it's really early. I just put this up. But 19% feel extremely confident that he'll be back with the Thunder.
Wow.
21% think he's gone. And then the other 60% think it's just still too early. But to think that, like, he's gone and he's coming back are kind of really close. I think people are just kind of... You have some people
so
on
sure.
the extremes. It's kind of weird.
How many of those 19% are delusional?
I don't know.
100% of the 19%?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what it is at the end of the pod.
Yeah, we'll revisit this at the end. All right, you guys want to get to this draft or what?
Let's do it.
Okay, so today we are doing, like I said at the top, we're doing this all-time Thunder draft. And what that means, I'll explain the rules here. Each of us, there's 4 of us here. Obviously.
Correct.
Each of us will draft 10 players, creating 4 separate teams, obviously. Made up of entirely of either current or former Thunder players.
Mostly former.
Yeah, you can draft only players that played for the franchise after it relocated from Seattle. So they had to play in OKC. You can't have Ray Allen, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp. You can't have these guys. They had to play
never existed.
in Oklahoma City. You're right. Seattle never existed. When drafting a player, you're drafting that player based on who he was in Oklahoma City.
That's the key.
That is the key.
Yep.
So, like you said, Seattle never existed. You didn't get Seattle Nick Collison.
Correct.
You get Oklahoma City Nick Collison.
Still though.
and you also have to, it's who they are in Oklahoma City. So James Harden, you draft James Harden. He's James Harden in Oklahoma City. He's that guy. He's not
this year.
MVP James Harden from today.
It's got potential.
Probably. Allegedly.
Draft your teams with the goal of beating the other 3 teams in a game of basketball played today. Not a game played in 2012. Not a game played in 1995.
But with past people.
But with these players. So we're trying to just put together the best. Like, we're having a tournament tomorrow, and these are what these teams are about.
Correct.
Each player can be taken only once. So there's no, I take 2013-14 Durant, and then Jason's like, I take 11-12 Durant. Just one player, and it's who they are for their entirety of their Thunder careers. After the conclusion of the draft, we will reveal our starting lineup and our bench 5. We're going to draft 10 players, like I said, and we're going to let you guys vote on who has the best team. We randomly determine the draft order, and the order is Jason is first, I am second, Rob is third, Justin is fourth. Yeah, Justin really got screwed here.
Well, but it's a snake, so
It is a snake.
Yeah.
It actually kind of
Yeah,
worked out.
that was the next point. This is a snake draft, so the order will reverse each round.
It's like fantasy Thunder basketball.
You guys ready for this?
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
do it.
I mean, let's just start this off, Jason.
Let's do
You
it.
are
I'm
on the clock.
Ooh. Here we go. And this,
Any bets? Any bets? Who's he taking?
this should come as no surprise. With the first pick in the Thunderheads draft, I selected Russell Westbrook.
Ooh.
Oh,
Solid pick.
No one's
Just
happy
me.
for you.
Just me.
No one is happy for you.
I'm pretty excited about
Listen,
it, to
you
be
got
honest.
probably the most decorated player in Thunder history. Even with Kevin Durant, who played here.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best player, but you got the most decorated
Was
player.
there any doubt? Was there? I don't think
No.
there's no doubt. He was the number
And
one
I
pick.
understand your heart's in this, man.
Oh, yeah,
Your
100%.
heart's in this.
And in fantasy, all sports, I only draft emotionally, so I always lose pretty hard.
Well, Russ, I mean, it's not a bad pick. He's averaging 23, 7, and 8 over his career, which are all with the Thunder. 23, 7, and 8. That's pretty incredible. Like, people are going to look back at this guy's numbers
Oh my
when it's
God.
all said and done. We're like, wow. And like I said, he's probably the most decorated Thunder player of all time. 7-time All-Star, 2-time scoring champ, 6-time All-NBA, 2-time All-Star Game MVP. He was the assist champ this past year. 08-09 All-Rookie team and the 2016-17 MVP. Sorry, MVP.
like, yep.
Definitely not a rookie. that
MVP
year.
of the year.
Yeah, MVP of the year. So easy pick for you, huh?
Yeah, basically my thought process here was Russell Westbrook. That was all of it.
I like
So-
that it's 2008 to forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's
Never
the
leaving
time
us.
he was here.
All right, let's
So,
keep
Brandon,
this,
you're on the clock.
keep this thing moving. I am taking the obvious pick here,
Oh,
Kevin Durant.
Boo.
I mean, like having the number 2 pick in this draft was such a terrible position.
Yeah, I
Look at him
Can't
in that
blame you.
Warriors jersey.
I like how you put him in a Warriors jersey.
well, yeah.
He averaged 28, 7, and 4 in 8 seasons with OKC. Do yourselves a favor, guys. Don't look at his numbers because it
God.
hurts. It hurts. His accolades in Oklahoma City, which I'll do this for a couple guys. 7-time All-Star, 4-time scoring champ, 5-time All-NBA, 2011 and 12 All-Star Game MVP, and the 2013-14 MVP.
He also has this cool little mask. That's pretty fun. You know, little snake face. Fitting. Very fitting.
We were a little behind.
Mm-hmm.
Next pick. Rob, you're up.
All right, so with the 3rd pick, I thought this was pretty easy as well. I went with old James Harden.
Ooh.
I mean, the only realistic option outside of Harden is probably Paul George, but I mean, Harden was here longer, and I feel like, you know, he's just
He's got a lot of
he's
potential.
got a lot of potential. Like, let's say, I don't know, maybe he gets it figured out. Like maybe he will jump into that starting lineup, and he'll just be able to drive on
Well,
everybody, draw a bunch of fouls, kick it out to 3-point shooters. Maybe he's a potential MVP of the league.
Could
We
be a
don't know.
great 3-point shooter himself.
Yeah,
It
we
is
don't
interesting
Someday.
you're drafting for the future in this draft. Although, he's definitely starting for your team, I assume. Yeah. And, I mean, the guy had moments.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the playoffs, big moments where he took control of the offense down the stretch. And
Yep.
I do find it interesting. He averaged 13-3 in 3 seasons with Oklahoma City. He was the 2009, 2010 on the All-Rookie team, and his 2011 and 12 Sixth Man of the Year. You didn't want to draft Paul George? You think this
No.
is the right pick?
Yeah.
I mean, because was James Harden a better player in Oklahoma City than Paul George was?
Than the current.
Yeah, I think he was.
In that final year, you think?
I think in that final, yes,
I was thinking about it, and I think maybe he wasn't.
that's a
Yeah.
mistake. That's a mistake. If you
I
think
don't
that.
know. I mean,
All
they
right.
both came up short in their
Look, yeah.
ending in the playoffs.
That's true.
That's for sure.
That's true.
One of them is still telling their story though, probably next season. So you know,
Who? James Harden? Oh,
Come on.
All right, Justin, 4th pick.
All right, I'm taking Steven Adams.
ooh,
Nice.
Paul George gets passed up again.
Oh,
Steven Adams averaged 9, 7, and 1 in 5 seasons, all in OKC.
if he watches this, he's leaving for sure.
Look, this was super easy just because since it's a snake draft, I knew I had the 4th and 5th.
Yeah.
That I can take. Like I know I'm taking both of them,
Spoiler alert.
but yeah, exactly. You knew it was coming anyways. But the thing is, like with Steven Adams, like a lot of it's kind of like Jason. Like it's emotional. I really like Steven Adams. He's probably my 2nd favorite player on this team right now, behind Russell Westbrook. I love the way he plays. I love his energy. I love his humor. He's an all around great guy that I really like, and I'd love to have a beer with him.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right.
So he's the 4th pick.
He was on the 2013-14 All-Rookie team. It's pretty crazy to think he's only been in the league 5 years.
Yeah.
He's 24 years old.
That's the crazy part to me. He does not look 24.
And he's often overlooked. Like, I think about this past season podcasting and, like, how many times we talked about games and we wouldn't even bring him up.
And he was incredible in most of them.
Well, because he was so constant.
Yeah.
He was just such a constant, did what he did, night in and night out. So you have the 5th pick, and you basically gave it to us.
Oh
did you?
yeah, it's Paul George. You have to take Paul George here.
All right. Paul George.
Please stay.
2017 to please stay.
So are those 5 players we just took, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Paul George, Steven Adams, are those the 5 best players in Thunder history?
yeah.
I think hands down. Yeah.
So, I mean, you know,
So far with what they've done.
Ibaka hasn't been drafted
Well,
yet.
I think that's I
That's
think
the
that's
question.
the only player probably that you could put in to that group.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you would do Paul, obviously. I mean, Justin has it set up that way, but if you're gonna take one of those guys out, it's gonna be Steven Adams for somebody like Serge. But
That's a
problem
solid
with it.
defensive start for you, Justin. Adams and Paul George locking up the defense.
Very
there.
nice.
It is.
Rob's up.
All right,
So
with the
the
6th
6th
pick, I got. I already have James Harden, so now I went with old Serge Ibaka.
Woo!
Serge Ibaka.
There he is.
Yeah, it's got to focus.
This is an interesting one, though. Averaged 12, 7, 2.5 blocks a game in 7 seasons in Oklahoma City. He was the 2-time block champion while he was here and 3-time all-defensive team.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you need. I think whenever you have James Harden, you definitely would like. Although
That's
I think
true.
you can make the. I mean, at times James Harden would lock in. I mean, you kind of see that now, but at times there were points where he would lock in, and you could actually like Serge. I think could correct those. You kind of need Serge back there to be able to kind of help.
I
out.
remember playing the Lakers in the playoffs, and sometimes when Sefalosha went to the bench, it seemed like Harden was guarding Kobe better than Sefalosha was. Like with his
Back
big
when he
body,
tried.
he was just stronger.
Hey,
Like lower center of gravity.
he's got to want to.
And the assists, like those don't even compare. When you look at the efficiency numbers, he was more efficient as a Thunder player. And you think about that, less duty on the offensive end, and being able to pay more attention on the defensive end in the Thunder, like it's just we were so robbed, man. We were so robbed of being able to see what could have been.
Agreed.
I'm next.
Yes.
This was a tough one for me, a little bit, but I'm gonna take Victor Oladipo.
Ooh, got to Vic.
He only played one season in Oklahoma City, but
Great potential again.
no Russ, no Harden. I don't really want to. I need a point guard, and I feel like the best thing I could do is get Oladipo, who can just help out a little bit of ball handling with Kevin Durant.
You would think, but then when it comes down to it, maybe not.
This could be a good team. It would have been nice to actually see these two play together.
Yeah.
Like we thought we were going to.
Yeah, would have been
It
cool.
would have been interesting. But I mean, obviously, like we said at the top in the rules, we're not getting the Victor Oladipo of today. We're getting the one in the Thunder uniform, which, by the way, wasn't so bad. He averaged 16, 4, and 3. Not terrible. And his most efficient shooting season of his career.
This is all right.
Decent defender as well.
Yep.
All right.
Handsy.
So with
Some
the
might even say he's handsy.
so with the 8th pick, I went ahead and took old Enes Kanter,
Woo!
everyone's favorite guy,
Everyone's favorite Enes.
everyone's favorite Enes.
Reuniting Enes and Russ.
There you go. I think they work really good together in the pick and roll.
Oh,
and
this is-
I'm going just no defense here, by the way.
Yeah, because I was
Just
going
to
to
get
say,
that out of the way.
they can do it on offense. On defense, they're not defending anything.
Oh,
in a row.
nobody's going to get stopped.
But you are making, like, Cantor's morale is through the roof right now. You're reuniting him with
Oh, yeah. His favorite person in the world.
in the whole
Wrong.
wide world.
yeah.
His favorite person in the world is playing for me,
Oh, wow.
Steven Adams.
I think
Don't
he,
get it
I think he
twisted, son.
idolizes Russ
Yeah,
more, though.
I agree.
Like, his
But
favorite
his
buddy
best
is
friend?
Steve.
You don't want to play with your best friend?
Of course he doesn't, but his idol is Russell Westbrook.
Cantor
for sure.
averaged 14 and 8 in 2.5 seasons in Oklahoma City. In the season that Durant was injured so much, he averaged almost 19 points a game that year.
I will say, for what we're doing, that's a good pick. I mean, you have Kanter, who, if he doesn't have to constantly chase shooters and have to close out and stuff, that's a pretty good pick for what we're doing.
You got some production. So through 2 rounds, Jason's got Russell Westbrook and his Cantor. I've got Kevin Durant, Victor Oladipo. Rob's over there with James Harden, Serge Ibaka. And Justin's got Steven Adams and Paul George.
Indeed.
Looking good. Looking actually pretty
Yeah.
even. I mean, obviously, I think me and Jason have the advantage just because we got the 2 best players,
Yeah.
by far.
That
Probably
helps.
so.
But, there's a lot of draft left, guys.
Agreed.
Jason, you
All
ready
right.
to begin?
Back to me with the 9th pick.
Mm.
I'm going to continue saying fuck offense or defense.
Oh, God.
and
And
select,
offense.
I'll
Just
select
basketball.
Kevin Martin
Basketball,
to give Russ a shooter to
Who?
kick out to. Kevin Martin.
Kevin Martin.
Okay,
I will
Martin.
say, this one took me a little by surprise.
I thought it might.
He's going, I mean,
I just got to outscore everyone. And
I can't fault you for that. You're trying to develop an identity here on your
yeah.
team.
Yeah, see, Russ isn't trying on offense or on defense. I keep doing that. So why should I?
And if Enes Kanter gets doubled in the post, if he can just make that simple pass out to Kevin Martin, man.
He probably can't.
Kevin Martin averaged 14 points on 43% from 3 in Oklahoma City, which, by the way, was easily the best mark of his career from 3
Yeah.
in Oklahoma City.
Pretty solid. And then he just leaves.
Well, I mean, the Thunder also just let him leave.
Well, that's very true.
And
They're
he-
good at that.
And do you remember when he did leave? He went to Minnesota, I believe.
Yep, he did.
And he made a comment about it's nice to be in a place where, they don't care who scores or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, I do
Remember
remember
that?
that. That's lame.
Yeah, way to
I
draft.
don't like
Yeah,
him.
Jason's
Way to
team.
draft.
What have I
Okay.
done?
Definitely going no defense here. All right, next pick.
10th.
Andre Roberson.
I like it.
I'm really solidifying my perimeter defense, my length. I really like what I have working here. Andre Roberson not going to give me much on the offensive end, but he's a 2016-17 all-defensive team. Maybe would have been in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year if he would have stayed healthy all year this year. Really like my team right now,
It's
guys.
going to be
Yeah,
hard to score on
Durant,
you guys.
Oladipo,
That's
Roberson.
That's the perfect pick to go with those 2 guys, I think. You got a really good defense, and you have 2 guys that can score, so Robertson can kind of slack off a little bit on the offensive end.
And my thinking is that I can have Roberson guard Russell Westbrook
Yep.
for you, Jason. James Harden.
You can try.
For you, for you, Rob.
Paul
And
George.
Paul George.
Yep.
Yep.
For you, Justin. Rob, Yo, pick.
All right, so I went next. Who doesn't love Dion Waiters?
Oh, I like
Yeah,
it.
man.
Yes.
So who do you have so far?
Kind
Back.
of miss Dion.
You
a
have
little
James
bit, if I'm being
Harden,
honest.
Serge Ibaka, Dion Waiters.
Yeah.
Love it.
You literally don't know what's happening with your team. Like, anything could happen. You
Yeah.
could catch fire and just...
Or maybe score 12 points. No one knows.
You know, Dion, I miss Dion. He's a guy that... I
He's
think
confident.
he had a reputation when he came to Oklahoma City that no, you don't want this guy on your team. I think he's like a guy that I would like on my team
Yeah.
now.
Absolutely.
You agree with that?
He just kind of had a different attitude than what everyone built him up to have. And he
Yeah.
got here and it's just like, I really like that guy. Well, I don't know why
Yeah.
everyone shits on him so much.
Well,
He
I-
works hard.
yeah.
He's a
think
bit
that-
of a gunslinger, but
And I think that hurt him being on a team with like Kyrie and then almost LeBron. And like, I don't know, it just like didn't look good on him where he was. So.
Yeah.
I also kind of wanted. I mean, he's not a great 3-point shooter, but I mean, he's
okay.
34% from three while he was in Oklahoma City, and I just kind of think I needed a little bit of defense, and so I wanted to continue that. And Dion seemed like the perfect.
you got a secondary ball handler too. He can handle the ball a little bit. He can make a play here and there, and he's a decent defender, like you said.
Yeah.
Next, Justin.
All right. I'm going to take Reginald Jackson.
Ooh, got yourself a point guard.
I did get myself. And that was really what it was. It was this slot it was a point guard with Russell off the board. I think Reggie was the best one available at the time. Like he, you think back to that Game 6 against Memphis in the playoffs,
Oh,
like
dude.
where he's single-handedly took over. He won that game for Oklahoma City. It wasn't
cried after.
Kevin
It's very
Durant.
nice.
Kevin
Yeah.
Durant and Russell Westbrook were not good in that game.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson won that game for Oklahoma
Man,
City.
that was so emotional
By the
after
way,
that one too.
not to correct you, but I'm going to. It was Game 5,
Oh, yeah,
which
that's
makes
my
it
bad.
even more important because the Thunder were down 2-1.
Yeah.
And it was in Memphis.
Yep.
That game was in Memphis, and Durant and Westbrook were bad in that game.
Mm-hmm.
They were bad, and Reggie Jackson, 32 points or whatever.
Yeah, he dropped a ton.
Man, he was feeling it, and he was like crying after the game
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I don't like his face though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You look at him,
kind
I
of
don't
a
like
little
his
bitch.
face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then like you go back to we were talking about attitude with Dion Waiters. Reggie Jackson ends up being the exact opposite of Dion Waiters when he heads out of town.
It's
More
a
of a
shame
locker
that
room
one
guy.
couldn't work out. He averaged
Yeah.
9, 3, and 3 in Oklahoma City, which obviously those numbers went up as he, year to year for him, 3.5 seasons. He was 87% from the line too. He was 24th pick in the draft. That's another solid pick for Sam Presti.
Yep.
I remember when he drafted him, I was like, who? Who is that? I have no idea who that is.
Some kid out of Boston College.
All right,
You got another one, Justin.
Justin.
All right,
13th.
13th. I'm taking Thabo Sefalosha. Basically it was like, well, once again, like I built my team with my own philosophy, the way I wanted to construct it. Andre Robertson's no longer on the board. I'm going to take Thabo. Thabo can score a little bit better than Drake can. Can't quite defend as well, but kind of that same exact philosophy. He was Andre Robertson 1.0.
And I feel like you got a nice defensive
Yeah.
core going on
For
here.
sure.
Paul George, Adams, Thabo.
Switchability.
Thabo played 6 seasons in Oklahoma City. 6 seasons.
He's here
He's here
for
for
a
a while.
bit.
He might have had his. I mean, that's probably like the kind of the main part of his career.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
for sure. Like, I mean,
and he's kind of a forgotten guy. I feel like to a certain degree.
he's been injured a bit too. Like,
Well, I mean, like a forgotten guy in Oklahoma City.
oh yeah.
Like kind of. I mean,
People don't think about him
and,
much.
and thanks to Andre Robertson a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly. I think that's the Dre effect, is that Dre kind of took over the Thabo role. So you think back to Thabo being in Oklahoma City and you're just like, wait, that was just Andre Roberson.
They were the same guy.
It really was. It's just one of them could shoot threes and then one of them could only
Sort
shoot
of.
threes in that one series.
To reminisce a little bit, I remember in the 2012 season when Thunder went to the finals. In the Western Conference Finals, they dropped down 2-0 to the Spurs, which, if you guys remember, I'm pretty sure the Spurs swept the first 2 rounds. Mm-hmm. And they were on like some crazy winning streak, and then they went up 2-0 against the Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Scotty Brooks switched Thabo on to Tony Parker because he was killing him. Thabo guarded Tony Parker and shut him down. Just completely shut him down, and it changed the course of the series.
Indeed.
Rob's up.
Who, me?
Yeah, it's you. 14th pick.
All right, 14th pick. Who, me? It's gonna be Carmelo.
Oh.
Felt like I had to do it here.
So why? Why did you feel that way?
Just because whenever you look at Carmelo's numbers, like he had, although we think of him as the who me and we want him to come off of the bench, like you still in the last I didn't realize you said please leave.
But I mean, he's a great guy, guys. He's a great guy.
He can't shoot a lot.
He shot almost
Confirmed.
36% from three. Not great, but I mean that's fine for. I mean, whenever you're looking at previous Thunder players, and so it just felt like with who had been taken, I just felt like it was a perfect spot to take Melo.
Were you scared of someone else getting him? Did you think if someone else got him that their team, they're going to be like, man, I should have taken him? Because right now, you're sitting with James Harden, fine, that's a solid pick. Serge Ibaka, pretty solid pick. Dion Waiters, wild card. Who was your other one?
No, that's it.
Oh, that's
Melo.
it?
Yeah.
That's
Melo.
fourth round? Okay.
Yeah.
And now Melo.
Yeah,
Interesting team.
I don't think he would have been there had I.
No, I was
had
gonna
I-
take him,
had
yeah.
I went later, but still, I don't think that it's. I mean, to me, it's a fine pick.
Hey,
and-
I'm not dogging you for taking him. He went 14th. How crazy is it that he went 14th? I know that
Yeah, right.
it's super far-fetched to even think about this, but
In
think
his
about
head, he would have gone first.
think about if we would have said before last season that we were going to do this draft. That we were going to do this draft after
Dog alert.
that we were going to do this draft after this season, and Carmelo was going to go 14th. We'd have been like, what?
Yeah.
How terrible of a season did he have?
Yeah, like he must have been real bad. Which
He's supposed to be like the fifth best player at the worst that this team's ever had. You know,
I guarantee you, there's people that are listening that are like, no way, Carmelo should have went that late.
and they might be right, but the fact is that Enes Kanter and Kevin Martin were taken before.
that's right.
Yeah.
He would have went great on my all offense team.
All right, I'll go next because it is my pick. It's not a voluntary
Yeah,
thing.
that's true. I'm glad
No,
you went ahead and fell
I
in line.
veto. I veto your pick.
I'm going with Taj Gibson.
Nice.
Played just 23 games for the Thunder, but I'm trying to continue to add toughness to my team. I like his fit with KD, Oladipo, Andre Roberson. I think that I'm a little worried about spacing here, but I think he's a center on this team.
I will say he was 100% from three with that one half, like beyond half court
true.
heave.
That
So
was
you got that
cool. I
going
forgot
for you
about
for
that.
that
That's true.
spacing.
I will say Taj was the one that I would have taken over Melo. Those were the two that I was trying to decide.
And I may have taken Melo if you'd have done that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was considering Grant here also, but I was like, man, I just think Taj is a better player. And then I was also considering Perkins because you have
Wow.
Kanter.
Yeah.
You have Kanter, and I was like, man, I'll shut Kanter down with some Kendrick Perkins.
Just knock him over.
And then, you have Adams, and I was like, oh, that'd be a great matchup.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun to
yeah.
watch.
That would be
And I
enjoyable.
have Serge, so
And you have Serge.
Yeah.
So, but, I was like, I like Taj's versatility. He can hit the mid-range jump shot a little bit. So,
it's a good pick.
Jason?
Oh God, that's me.
I was,
Come on,
that's
man.
what I was
That's
saying.
the sound
I was-
for me.
I was telling you, your
Who
phone
is
was
it?
ringing.
Answer it on
got
the
this
pod.
damn case on here now.
Who is it?
All right, with the 16th pick, I selected old Uncle Jeff.
Ooh.
You know?
Another forgotten guy. A
Indeed.
little bit.
Definitely forgotten.
Yeah,
I was mad
I
about
needed
this
a
one.
smidge of defense, which he can maybe do a little, and a bit of scoring, which he did okay while I was here.
Man, these are kind of the glory days, though, a little
Yeah.
bit, right? When you talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
Thunder basketball when they first came and everyone was just, everyone loved everyone.
Yeah.
It wasn't like,
Yeah. Well, there wasn't.
There was no
the
criticism to be had.
Well, the
that's for sure.
expectations were a lot lower.
Yeah.
Whenever you had that, like this was a young team that was trying to figure it out together. Well, now that's not the case, and it's sad.
but remember,
Yeah.
I feel like the overall national narrative surrounding Jeff Green, not that there was much of one, but the main idea behind him, the main kind of opinion behind him was that he was a solid young player.
Yeah.
Ever since he left Oklahoma City,
All gone.
Yeah.
it's really gone downhill.
I got more of I don't know. I got more of the feeling that he wasn't as good as these other guys, and was kind of looked. I at least I did sort of looked as he was totally tradable. He could. Without him, to me it didn't feel like it really changed much for.
Definitely did.
Oklahoma
Yeah, it
City.
did
Serge
not.
Ibaka was able to slide right into that spot, and obviously he was a better fit. But hey, Green averaged 16, 6, and 2 in 2.5 seasons.
Which was why I ended up taking him, because he
One
actually
of-
scored some
and by
points
the
and I
way,
needed it.
Jason is continuing with the
That
no
is-
defense.
That is true.
One of the weird things about Jeff Green, I think, was the fact that like you had Kevin Durant at that small forward. I feel like Jeff Green would have been a better small forward in the NBA, and so he like never really got the chance to play that role, and I think that was a little bit weird for his development.
Indeed.
One more round, and then we'll review these first 5
Yep.
picks. How about that?
So, 17th pick, I'm going to take Jerami Grant.
Ooh.
Been here from 2016 to we don't know when.
This is gonna be sad if he goes because
I
like
don't
he
want
just
him
went
to leave.
17th in the all-time Thunder draft. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
I
But
maybe
I'm
picked him a
interested
little
in-
early. I don't
yeah,
know.
why? So
Um,
why?
He
I
finally
mean,
drafted some defense.
I needed some help defense for damn sure.
Yeah.
And I just like his versatility. I just felt like I could move him around a bit. You know,
Okay.
move him down to the bench if I needed to. Play him at the 5 some.
That's the nice thing about Jerami Grant,
So-
especially in today's game. That's
Yeah.
the worry that we have. In
Like
the
playing your
free-
team with Serge.
Yeah,
Put
he
him
would
down
have
there
no
a little.
chance though. So.
Yeah, Serge posts him up, huh?
Yeah, Serge just take him to the left. So I don't know what
That's
you're
right, he
talking
would. That's right, he would.
I'm
All right,
next.
18th pick. Here
This
it is.
one
This one was a weird one.
was it? I don't think it was.
I don't
Nick
remember what it
Collison.
was.
I was so
Wow.
mad at you for that.
Nick Collison. I needed a rock. I needed a guy,
Yeah.
a role player that knew his role, that was going to step
does
in.
that.
He was going to keep the ball moving.
Plays the right way.
It plays the right way. That's a normal thing you say about a white player.
Plays the white way.
He can move the ball a little bit though, which I liked about him because I am lacking. I still don't have a point guard on my team. I have Kevin Durant, Victor Oladipo. Still don't have a point guard. I needed a little bit more ball movement in there, maybe for a potential bench unit too. But he can rebound the ball a little bit. He can even do some dirty work. Man, if you remember, and I had to keep him from you, Rob. You have James Harden.
Yeah,
He's
I
not
was-
trying to take
I
it.
was not
He
going to
hates him.
take.
You
Collison.
wouldn't. You don't want that James Harden, Nick Collison 2-man game.
I wasn't going to take it.
That would have been a great pick for you.
I feel like you have a bad taste in your mouth from Nick Collison the last 3-4 years.
6-7 years, most likely.
He could play some ball back in the day.
That's all right.
He can play a little bit.
Get some stitches.
I will say that with you have Collison who with Kevin Durant, like you always remember those sort of those passes that he would just find KD on, and like that was really fun to watch.
It's a bonus to have a guy like that can, that you don't need select one or two guys that have to make all of your plays. Every once in a while, you have an after timeout play where all it takes is a simple bounce pass from Nick Collison. It's nice to have. Rob, what you got?
Alright, so with the next one, I went with Caron Butler, who
Karen.
Long
Again?
distance.
yeah, still trying to surround Harden with some shooters.
Adding to your
I don't-
crazy team.
yeah,
That's
for
such a
sure.
wild team you have.
I don't know. I mean, I think Harden is going to just get it figured out. He's going to be able to find these guys. And so I want shooters out there to be able to shoot.
Harden.
That's what they do.
It should be noted that Harden was definitely. I mean, he was always a good passer, but he wasn't the passer he is today.
No,
in
but
Oklahoma
I
City.
think
He's drafting
yeah.
on that potential.
But
But
it's still
definitely-
the right way to build around him. I would agree.
agreed. Butler in his what did he play?
22 games.
22 games here. 44% from 3.
He was
That's
good, and
pretty
they were
solid.
almost. I feel like they were almost all corner threes.
All of them, yeah.
It was, and if you remember, he even ended up starting the last 2 games of those playoffs because they had to bench Sefalosha against the Spurs
Yeah.
in a series that they were down and they needed shooting, which they also did with Reggie Jackson in the series.
I'll go ahead and let you guys in on a little game plan. We're gonna have Butler on one corner and Serge on the other. Good luck, guys.
Ooh.
We're gonna be draining them.
You're not gonna
There it
post Serge up.
No, he doesn't
Nah.
do that.
Only dribbles left.
Move him directly away
You're
from
not
that.
gonna give it to him at the high post and let him make decisions.
Just for the first.
That's for Melo.
Just for the first shot of the game, we're gonna give it to Serge at the high post.
Wait,
Let him
where's
shoot.
Melo gonna be if you're gonna have Caron Butler and Serge on the corners?
Top of the key.
This is throughout the game.
Jab step.
That's why we have other bench players. We got to bring him in. Melo's gonna play what 15 minutes?
Oh,
I got-
Damn.
Ooh, your 14th biggest.
All right.
Or your third pick. Wait, third pick or fourth?
I don't
pick?
remember
Fourth
at
pick.
this point.
It's so hard.
All right. 20th pick.
What you
All
got,
right.
Justin? Last one of the 5th round, right?
Yep.
Mr. Anthony Morrow.
Nice.
He,
I was so
just-
mad.
I-
so mad you took.
I
this.
really
you were
wanted
gonna get
shooting. And fun fact, he still has me blocked on Twitter, and I still don't know why. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
I don't
some
know
loyalty.
what I did.
Yeah,
That's some loyalty
it's
too.
impressive.
He has you blocked on Twitter, and you drafted him. I'm proud of
Yeah.
you. You're able to bury the hatchet. Can he?
Yeah. Probably not.
Probably not.
He's,
Clearly,
he's
he
probably going to be like, wait, you're that Thunder tie guy? No, man, I'm not playing for you. He just walks out the gym.
Walks out.
Definitely one of the biggest fan favorites in Oklahoma City history. Did you
Yeah.
guys agree with that?
Loved him.
Why is that? Just because of his
Just
overall
attitude.
personality?
Well, I think
Good-
it's just the
cool guy.
nature of the type of player he was. Really, like fans love to see somebody be able to drain the three. Like it just gets you so hyper. And
Especially when
he
it
was
only
like,
takes a
that's what-
fourth of a second to shoot it.
Yeah, like he was so into it too. Every time he made it,
He was
like,
a great. He seemed like a great teammate, and the crowd would go crazy when he
Yeah.
made a 3 too. I
was
mean,
fun.
everyone loved it. And the common thing when he was in Oklahoma City and he wasn't getting a lot of playing time was, why isn't Morrow playing
Yeah,
more?
every time.
I wonder how many timeouts did other teams call after Anthony Morrow hit a three? It's got to be a bump.
Spark.
Okay, no, we got to stop this run right now.
Do you think that's a actual thing in scouting reports? Like, this is the guy that really gets the crowd going off
Yeah.
their bench, maybe, and so watch out for him. Don't let him get going because this is when the crowd will get behind him and they'll really gain some momentum. Just thought of that from you saying that. All right, let's review these teams. Justin, you just went, so we'll start with you. You got Steven Adams, Paul George, Reggie Jackson, Thabo Sefalosha, and Anthony Morrow.
These are basically our starters, right? I mean, this is
Essentially,
we're
your top five. These are
Yeah.
your top five guys.
yeah.
Rob, you got James Harden, Serge Ibaka, Dion Waiters, Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
When you see
Keep going.
Dion Waiters,
Keep
Carmelo Anthony
going.
on the same team.
Caron
Ron
Butler.
Butler, baby.
Solid group.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey,
I don't know.
easy.
But like, I feel like he could be amazing or
terrible.
horrible.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Everything could definitely go wrong.
That's a team that could score 140 and still lose by 50.
Wait, we got defense.
That's pretty similar to
Serge-
my team.
We got rim
got Serge
protection.
Ibaka?
Carmelo's terrible at defense. We got no defense.
I'm sitting with Kevin Durant, Victor Oladipo, Andre Roberson, Taj Gibson, and Nick Collison. I'm gritty, bros.
Yep.
I am gritty.
Except for that
Except
Kevin
for-
Durant.
yeah.
Weak-minded.
Except for that guy.
Very weak-minded.
He's gonna turn it over in the
Yeah.
most important moment.
So I got Russ, Enes Kanter, Kevin Martin, Jeff Green, and Jerami Grant.
That's an interesting team. I feel like that's Russ's dream team right there. That's who he wants on his
It'd be a
team.
fun time.
I could see Russ getting extremely frustrated with
Everyone?
that group of players. Oh, yeah.
Everyone.
Well, as long as they can just catch it at their knees,
Yeah.
they're good.
It'll be fine.
They're good.
All right, Justin.
Let's keep this bad boy going, Justin.
21st pick.
First pick of the 6th round. What
This
you
is-
got?
This is what happens when Nick Collison is taken, and you just like you're really confused about what to do with your pick.
Oh, God.
I took.
You did what now?
I just saw a chair throw. I took Nenad Krstic.
Ooh,
And you guys,
throwback.
you guys have already ripped me for this, and that's whatever.
It's
but
a good time.
I'm not ripping you for this.
you know what? I like Nenad kind of I like his really slow, awkward mid range that seem to go in more times than not. I like that with the guys that I already have, so I'm taking Nenad.
I
Nice.
feel like he was a bit of a fan favorite to a certain degree. I don't know why. I think it was that mid range, and back then, you didn't have a lot of big guys that shot that shot. Now they're all over the place, but back then, and this, like the graphic shows, this was pre-chair throw.
Right.
Who knew he had that in him? Who knew?
All righty, 22nd pick.
All right, this is me. So I went Daequan Cook here.
Oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
I needed more shooting.
This
I'll be
seems
honest with you
high.
guys.
Keep
This
bringing
seems
it
high. Seems like you took him high.
No.
Little bit.
Needed a little bit of shooting, a little more shooting.
I'm going to be honest. I thought he was just not going to get picked.
Really? What? I knew he was gonna get picked.
Yeah, that's,
He only
But
had
this
that
seems
one
high.
game
now
that
it
was
makes
good.
sense. Now it makes sense why your team is the way it is.
Yeah. He would
No,
have been
but
great for me.
I think we can play a little bit of 2 or a 3. A little undersized at the 3, but in situations you can play a 3, and so we're gonna keep surrounding
Look at
James
that
Harden with
face,
shooters.
though.
You are going full on pace and space here.
Yeah, got to.
Yeah.
That D'Antoni system.
We said we're playing a game tomorrow. I believe Daequan Cook won a 3-point contest in the All-Star weekend.
Yeah, and you named a bird after him.
I did. I had a bird named Daequan.
Yeah, annoying as fuck.
God, I got to tell you guys, I hated. So I got this bird, right? Let's just go over this. I got this little bird, and it was a parrotlet. Smallest species of parrot in the entire world. It was like the size, if you're looking on YouTube, it was like the size of a parakeet, but maybe a little smaller. It was actually a little smaller than a parakeet, I would say.
So very annoying.
But very pretty, like a very pretty bird. It looked cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bird, so yeah, it was annoying, Jason. Jesus Christ.
Well,
It chirped. I mean, it's
He's
a bird.
offended that you
It's a
said
bird. But
after you're saying he hates him too.
so I like took like this. I kind of really did a lot of research on this bird. Like I really wanted a bird for some reason. So I did a lot of research. I was like, what kind of bird do I need to get? And I was like, well, I don't want to have to pay attention to it every single day. It was like a whole little article. It's telling you, so do you want to have to pay attention to it every single day?
No.
No.
Oh God.
He's like,
Like,
oh,
do-
perfect question, because that's what I was just
But it
thinking.
was like, these are easy to bond with. These are easy to kind of teach some things, but also just kind of hang out with. And you don't have to, it doesn't have to be your life, whatever. That's not true at all.
Can they send messages? Like a carrier pigeon?
Oh, God.
No?
No. Their
Should've got
wings
one of
are, their
those.
wings are clipped when you get them,
Oh,
so they can
Jesus.
fly. That way you can
The hell's
bond,
the point
bond
of
with
that?
them more, because then they need you.
Yeah.
This bird wanted nothing to do with me, and I worked my ass off trying to bond with this thing. And, I would eventually, I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. And then, nope, just gone. next day. I hated this bird so much. Dude, I had it for over a year. One time, I left it at home for like 5 days. I just gave it a bunch of bowls of water and a bunch of food in the thing, and I was like, I hope you're all right when I get back, dude.
Oh God!
I mean,
He lived,
Oh,
but he was
shit.
pissed when I got. Like, he hated me more than I hated him, I
And
think.
see, I was there just thinking the whole time you loved him. And I was
No,
like,
I wanted to love him.
Maybe you
I
got a
wanted
bad
to.
batch. Maybe
I
you
think
got
so.
it from the bad
I
batch.
bet when that pet store guy sold him to me, he was like,
he knew.
he got this
got
little
that one.
asshole.
That was the returned one.
so I gave this bird away a few years
Oh, we're
ago
still
to a
going.
bird lady, a lady that has a lot of birds,
Bird lady, I like it.
and she says he's still a dick.
Oh,
so-
you still keep up with her? Like, hey,
No,
how's-
no,
checks
no.
in.
Hey,
it's-
how's day?
It's through day. How's day? But yeah, I am curious about it. I'm like, were you able to tame him? And
Absolutely
no.
not.
Apparently, I just got a
bad
runt.
batch.
Yeah. Who's next? Sorry about that.
I don't
That'd
remember.
be you.
You are.
Okay.
23rd pick.
My pick is Alex Abrinas.
Ooh.
I was surprised, Rob. You took Daequan Cook over Alex Abrinas.
That is weird.
Wanted a little more defense. So.
Yeah, I can see that. Alex Abrinas, I think, has a little more to his game than Daequan Cook. I may have taken Daequan if you would have taken Alex Abrinas here, but man, Abrinas has shown flashes of competency. to like, I feel,
Yeah.
like
It's there.
as
Maybe.
opposed to
Threes.
Daequan Cook, I feel like never really. He was more like, come in and make a three, and then we got to get you back on
Yeah,
the bench.
there was that one game.
And yeah, so I don't know. I needed some shooting too. I really wanted some shooting at this point, so I took Alex Abrinas.
Nice. All right, 24th pick.
What you got, Jason?
I selected Perk Daddy.
Kendrick.
I like how you have him in a Cleveland uniform.
Everyone on these images are in whatever current team
You
they were.
should have totally
most likely.
had him in a suit.
That would have been hilarious.
Does he have a little bit of a lazy eye? It looks like he's kind of hunting and fishing in that
Yeah,
picture.
maybe.
I like that it says always in spirit.
Yeah, he was always here in spirit.
Oh,
Yeah.
it does. It
That
looks like
toughness.
he's looking around whoever's taking the picture.
Well, he's looking at everybody. That's
All at
what
the
he's
same
doing.
That's a good point.
All at the same
He
time.
looks happy though.
Do you think that Perkins, with the way he was at his peak with Oklahoma City, when he was crucial to that team, could he play in today's NBA?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No.
It would have been rough.
The game's changed too much, I think.
But he was so critical
Mm-hmm.
to those Thunder teams.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they needed what he provided so
Gotta
much.
have that
But-
toughness.
yeah, not today.
And my whole idea here is, kind of like,
It's crazy how quick it changed.
yeah, with like maybe with Kanter, sometimes I go a sort of twin
I
towers.
think he could play off the bench a little bit, but
Yeah.
not as your primary center.
Yeah, but
No way. Wait, remember whenever he just was in the starting lineup?
in
it was
those
just
finals,
that's how it was.
Yeah.
Ugh.
what a bummer.
I mean,
that
that's what a lot of people blame the finals loss on, is the fact that Scotty
true.
Brooks would not move off of Kendrick Perkins.
and he absolutely would not.
I mean, but like that's
What was
a
he
fair.
supposed to do?
It's a fair blame, but you've been doing it all year. It's
Yeah.
what got you here. So that it's also hard. I understand, but it's also like it's also your job.
All right,
to adjust.
so with my 25th pick, moving on, I went ahead and took Patty Pat Pat Pat.
This was interesting.
Ooh. When
So-
Rob says something that interesting,
He hates
he's,
it.
Yeah, he's saying
Yeah.
terrible pick.
So my
I
thought
thought it
here
was a
was,
little weird.
I didn't like that Pat had to play center this year off the bench, so I put him at the 4. That's kind
Combining
of
him with a guy like
kinda stretching
Perkins.
him out there.
Not a bad
He
idea.
can't get rebounds, so just put him at the corner
Yeah.
where he's good.
And maybe with this fit, the guy who he was in Oklahoma City is a little better.
Kind of started building the bench inside out.
He had some time. All right, next I took Raymond Felton. Finally got me a point guard, guys.
Oh, Ray.
I don't know if I'm going to
7th
start
round.
him yet. 7th round, yeah.
Took a while.
I like his fit alongside Kevin Durant, Victor Oladipo, because he's a guy that he's not reluctant to give up the ball. He will give up the ball if he has guys to give the ball up to. And he's there. If you need him, you can give it to him, and he'll
He'll provide a spark.
do
when
what he
you
does.
need it.
I'm kind of surprised he fell this far, honestly.
Also, if you
Well, I think it was like I was planning to use Harden as a point guard. We had Russ was already gone, and so yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think that's kind of what that situation was.
he's got a little cheeseburger there too.
Oh, nice. That's a nut. Is that?
Oh,
touch.
dude, is that a Carl's Jr. number 7?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it
that's-
might be. It's a big burger.
It's a
Just
big,
like he
big
probably
burger.
He's
want it.
bigger than it though, you know.
He
He's
seems like a
still-
no tomatoes guy.
I'm a no tomatoes guy to be
Most
honest.
people
They just
are
make
no
things soggy.
tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
on
like
burgers not good.
Yeah.
Like them on sandwiches. Like
Why
normal
is it just like a
sandwiches.
default?
burgers.
Because I don't like them warm though. Like I'll eat it in like a salad or something. I don't
Agreed.
like them warm with the burger.
That's when they make
Because
them
that's
so
when they
soggy.
get mushy.
It's gross.
Yeah, it's
And the
gross.
seeds get everywhere, and you're
And
like,
why?
what is this sauce coming? Oh, it's tomato juice.
Yeah, gross.
fake
Like,
ketchup.
don't
I'm not.
want it.
I can just pour some V8 over the top of my burger, and I'll eat it. Rob, what you got?
So next I
27 pick.
went Corey Brewer. I thought this might shock some guys in this.
It shocks some
pod.
guys.
I don't know.
Shocks some guys.
Us three, baby.
Yeah, like you three. Well, I still. Let's not go
Shocking
around.
y'all.
This is the shock and awe right here. So really, I was just thinking that we're gonna play some defense. We're gonna lock some people up. We're gonna get in transition.
You definitely got
And
that going for you.
Corey Brewer is gonna come through.
Plus, when you're adding Corey Brewer to a roster that already has Carmelo Anthony
Yeah.
and Dion Waiters,
Yeah, why not?
yeah, you got to go all. It's like Jason with his no defense thing.
Yeah.
You got to go
You
all
just
in.
got to go with that identity.
We're all
And
in.
I believe, Justin, isn't this the last guy remaining averaging double digits in a Thunder uniform?
Yeah, I believe so. Which was weird that it was Corey Brewer of all
Corey
people
Brewer.
to average double digits, but that's how it worked
Shocker,
out.
huh?
Averaged 10 points in, where do I have it here? 18 games. 18 games. I mean,
That's all he played.
well, not counting the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, no, but still, it was only 8. It just
That's
it
kinda-
seems like it was in the 30s, not.
They
18.
signed him. What was it? Not
It was
like,
really late.
Yeah, it was. It was really.
It's like
Obviously,
the
it
last
was.
18 games.
It
of
would
the
have
season.
been. It
Because
would have
we
been game 64ish.
Yeah, because we were getting to that point where we're like, are they just going to not sign anybody? Or?
Yeah.
And then we knew it though.
Yeah.
We knew it was gonna be Corey Brewer. We called it.
We knew that.
Perfect.
We called
Perfectly.
it so long ago.
Don't look it up.
Justin, what you got?
Mr. Douglas McDermott.
Dougie McBuckets.
Man, this is a guy I wanted on my team.
This is a guy. This was hey, I've already got enough defense. Might as well just throw Doug McDermott on there.
Yeah.
Need some shooters just on this team at all costs at this point.
He's a guy I wouldn't have minded having in Oklahoma City for a while, just to see
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
his fit, like as he grew comfortable alongside Russell Westbrook. How would that? Because he seemed like if he keeps moving around team to team, I don't know if Doug McDermott's ever going to be able to solidify himself as an NBA player that can contribute.
Yeah, it's really difficult for him.
But if he's stuck on like the Thunder next to Russell Westbrook, man, that could have been really good.
I mean, look how he was in Creighton. Like he's a rhythm guy. He's a rhythm shooter, and it takes a long time for him to like build that rapport with his passers. He needs that time, and he just hasn't gotten it.
And he talked about in his exit interview how he'd like to play the 4 a little more. He'd like to post up a little more. He thought he could bring the team a little bit, which who knows how much of that he really could have. If you're watching on YouTube, you can review the teams right now. We'll do that. Should we do it now or should
Yeah,
we?
let's go
Let's
ahead.
just wait.
I don't know what that means. Let's
Yeah.
go ahead.
We're going
Next-
forward.
Okay, going forward.
All right, I'm gonna take the legend Derek Fisher.
I will say, people in YouTube have been calling for Derek Fisher for
Have
just
they?
a
Well,
little
there
bit
you
right
go.
now. Yeah.
Have they? It's it.
Thought he went a little late.
See, I thought about like if the Thunder had a longer history where we had a bigger player pool,
Yeah.
we could have given like you two
Yeah.
and everyone like a chance to have their own team. We
That
could have
would've
given
been
them
cool,
a
yeah.
poll
That-
like
I think that's a really good point. Since you brought that up, I'll go
that
ahead and
idea
throw
I
it.
had.
Anyways, the fact is, like this gets really difficult, and this was kind of like I feel like the 8th round was where it kind of started to get really difficult for the 4 of us. Was with only 10 years, you don't have that much of a pool of players to pick from, and when most of those years were dominated by 2 guys,
Yeah, there's a lot of baddies in there.
yeah, it's really hard to find quality players at this point.
When looking at Derek Fisher's numbers and it seemed like he played in Oklahoma City for like 7
Every year.
years. I swear to God, like just the ends of the years though. And he did play. I
Yeah.
think 1 year he played the entire year with the Thunder. I think that's
You know,
right.
It's a very weird situation.
It's all just blending together. But thinking about how big of a role he played for that team, for those teams, he only averaged 5 points on 37% shooting. Like those are surprisingly bad numbers.
100% with his toe on the line, though.
Yes. Yeah. And just running around trying to play defense as hard as he can.
Yeah.
I mean, he made some big shots. Like he was
He
a
did.
guy that you weren't afraid to have shoot at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I remember the one game against San Antonio in the playoffs where the Thunder had 5 bench points and he was all of them. He was all of the 5 bench points.
Not ideal there.
At home.
Yeah.
At home.
I remember Jason used to hate Derek Fisher. He was always like every time.
Every time he shot, I'd be like, no.
It's because he's
No, but his toe is on the line.
he likes Matt Barnes. He's on Matt Barnes' side.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
wow.
big butts. No, I do not like Mac Burns.
That is
Barnes, for the
one-
record.
Mac
Mac Burns.
One great thing, I do have one guy on my team that is not afraid to go find Matt Barnes' ex-wife and bang the hell out
Oh,
of her.
That's
wow.
true.
Wow,
All
that
right.
is true.
That's cool.
You really
wut there, huh?
Really, but
So
when
with-
you said it was going to be a graphic bot, I get it now.
I get it.
I get
It all
it.
makes
Found
sense.
it.
There it is.
With that in mind, I took DJ Augustine with the
Ah.
30th pick.
There it is.
Talk about disappointing in a Thunder uniform.
Well, kind of, yes. I mean, if you just look at the numbers.
This dude got benched for Cameron Payne.
Yeah, well, you can't really argue that point. But
Dog alert.
I will say that I needed a point guard. I only have James Harden as my point guard. I needed somebody here.
You need another ball handler.
Yeah, I did.
And he could do that.
And yeah, he could do that. I mean, he's never going to be, the best ball handler on the team. But I felt like he kind of fit my team. Kind of fit what I needed at that moment.
Bunch of wild cards.
I think so. You're sitting here, Harden, lbaka, Waiters, Carmelo, Caron, Butler, Daequan Cook, Corey Brewer. Now you got DJ Augustine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another wild card in there. I like it.
Keep going with your identity.
Let's make it weird.
I'm for it.
All right.
Next pick.
31st.
It's me.
Yep. I think.
Who do I have? Hold on, I'll look.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy Lamb.
Damn, this made me angry.
Did it?
God.
Yeah, this was
as
my
much
plan.
As much as he hated Derek Fisher,
I
like,
love
he loved
Jeremy Lamb.
He would say Lambo. It was insane.
But here, Derek Fisher averaged 5 points on 37% shooting. Jeremy Lamb averaged 7 points at least.
yeah,
Yeah.
huge
Great
upgrade,
player.
Yeah.
It's a
Great
huge
player.
difference. I mean, he was a guy that you always saw the potential. I remember when Kevin Martin left, everyone expected Jeremy Lamb to jump in that sixth-man position. Never happened. That was Reggie Jackson.
And then after he didn't high-five Russell, it was all downhill from there.
But listen, I took Jeremy Lamb because of his length, because of he has a little bit of athleticism. He has the ability to knock down a shot.
His boredness in his face.
Yeah,
just,
I was gonna say for people watching on YouTube,
which
like
you probably remember even if you're not watching.
the picture that we have of him is exactly what he looks like right
At
now.
all
It's a
times.
live picture, probably.
I will say
That's what
though,
he looks like.
Even dunking, he had that face.
I know,
Yeah.
I know
Did
he's
he dunk?
playing for the Hornets, and they haven't been very good. But he's had a nice couple of years.
He's been all right.
And I think Presti traded him for a second-round pick.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I think he turned that second-round pick and another one. I might be wrong on this. We might need to fact check this. Into Joffrey Laverne.
Yeah. Huge mistake.
That worked out.
But yeah, he was traded for Taj Gibson
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Doug McDermott, who was then traded for
It's a
Carmelo
long-
Anthony.
Well, this all goes into that
Yeah.
long
Yeah,
timeline
little-
of trades.
little
we had.
web.
So wait, Jeremy Lamb became Carmelo Anthony? Is that what we're looking at?
Maybe.
In
we
a-
need
in a
to
way-
fact check it.
In a way, he possibly
Wait, it's
did.
only half of Carmelo. So is it the
We
good
have-
half or the bad half?
We have that whole document you
Yeah,
created.
it's somewhere.
Is he a good? Does he have a full half of goodness in there?
Yeah.
Mm.
Some of his scoring.
What you got with number 32,
32nd.
Jason?
I took Mr. Eric Maynor as my backup PG.
Everyone
So,
loves Maynor.
Yeah. Very
Everyone loved
sad.
I think that's the thing is everybody loves Maynard except whenever I think back on it,
And realized that he wasn't really all
yeah,
that
not really
as
that,
good as you had
not
hoped.
really that great. I think he kind of fit at the Thunder at that time, but
Yeah, so
Not really.
basically he's only going to get around 8 minutes maybe on my team. So
I honestly 8 minutes. Wow. I honestly considered taking him over Felton, but I was like, I think Felton's more of he can score better, and that was my main thing.
Yeah.
But man, Maynard was a guy who could control the game a little bit. Like he had a nice handle on the game. He didn't turn the ball over. He wasn't gonna overwhelm, but he was kind of consistent.
yeah, he's
He
nice
was
and balanced. Like
consistently
that.
not great.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Just consistently.
I don't need him to be
okay.
great.
He was also a good half-court
Yes,
shooter.
absolutely.
But at
Yeah.
the ends of quarters,
And I'm going to
stuff,
need those.
he would get to his spots and he would put them up. Hold on, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say he was also a guy like one. I think that knee injury really derailed his career. I think he could have been like a journeyman backup point guard, but he was also kind of the opposite of Russ on those early
Yes.
teams where Russ was still like chaotic. Well, he still is chaotic and fiery, but
But
Eric
then it
Maynard was really calm and cool and collected. Like Russ was still learning how to distribute as a point guard. Eric Maynard was a little bit more polished.
It was-
in that
it was a
regard.
cool
Like,
change of pace.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
He was more of your, so to speak, traditional point guard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
All
review
right.
these teams real quick before you move on.
looking back over them.
Well, we got eight 8 rounds down.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 2 players left each. Jason's sitting there with Russell Westbrook, Enes, Kanter, Kevin Martin, no defense. Jeff Green, no defense. Jerami Grant, a little bit defense. Kendrick Perkins, there you go. Patrick Patterson and Eric Maynor. Not bad. I got Kevin Durant, Victor Oladipo, Andre Roberson, Taj Gibson, Nick Collison, Alex Abrinas, Raymond Felton, Corey Brewer, and DJ Augustine. The wild cards.
Yeah.
I got a fly.
That would have
hitting me
been
in
a
the
good
forehead,
name.
dude.
That would have been a good
It would
team
have been
name.
so
Should've
good.
done
Justin, Steven Adams, Paul George, Reginald Jackson, Thabo Sefalosha, Anthony Morrow, Nenad Krstic, Doug McDermott, and Derek Fisher. Interesting. We're going to post these, like I said, at the top. And we're going to let you guys vote on who has the best team. Jason, I believe it's your
I
pick.
will go again with the 33rd pick. I select Terrence Ferguson.
Wow.
Yeah. I like his defensive aggressiveness.
All
Not
right.
necessarily great at it. And he can dunk. I like that.
Not his defense, just his aggressiveness.
Aggressiveness.
On
No,
defense.
yeah. I like his energy. I need that energy on this team. When Russ is on the bench, I need somebody with energy. So it's not a great decision.
I mean,
but he's
I
there.
don't know if it's a bad one. It's
He's
just
got
like,
potential.
yeah.
Well, we're playing tomorrow, so.
So
Just kidding. My whole team is
No, sure.
basically.
it's
Is it
all
all-
potential.
We're playing tomorrow? All right, with
All
the
right.
34th pick, I'm taking a forgotten guy. When you talk about forgotten guys,
I didn't forget.
I did.
Chris Wilcox.
I needed Chris Wilcox on my team so bad. Just for the record. We'll see why at the end.
Oh, yeah.
You really did.
He averaged 8 and 5 in a total of 37 games with Oklahoma City. Decent scorer. Not a super efficient scorer, though. Wasn't reluctant to shoot the ball. Kind of was just looking for his. But, you know, I liked the fit there as my backup to whoever my normal center is. Taj Gibson. As my backup to Taj Gibson, I like the fit there. I could have a guy come in and primarily focus on scoring off the bench because when you have Alex Abrinas on your bench, you have Jeremy Lamb on your bench. All right, what are you going to get on them or out of them? But I did like that I could spread the floor with Alex Abrinas and Jeremy Lamb a little bit and have Chris Wilcox go to work down there.
Nice.
A little something, something.
All right, so 35th pick here. I needed a big guy. And
You
so
did.
I went with Domantas Sabonis.
I thought you said you need a big guy.
Yeah, agreed.
Boom.
Yeah, but, you know,
Love this.
yeah.
And
it's-
again,
it's
this
a
is
little
who
rough.
they were in Oklahoma City, not who they were
Right.
in Indiana.
It's crazy, though, how in Indiana, 2 of these guys look
Incredible.
so much better
I know.
than
Yeah.
they did here.
What a bummer.
Which they
Um,
are using Sabonis in a completely different way.
Yeah,
but-
and so I would have to use him in a completely different way than he was here. But,
Yeah.
the dog thing. But we'll-
Yeah. No, I've
oh, okay.
too many of them.
Dog
But
leg.
yeah, so
I like this fit a lot. For
I
your team, by
needed
the way.
I needed a big guy, and so I really needed a center. That's why I was hoping to get Wilcox there. But so I had kind of looking at who was left. I felt like Sabonis was the guy I needed.
My favorite thing is that you end up with 2 of the players you like the least from the Thunder.
in Carmelo
Melo
and
and Sabonis.
And I
yes.
also feel like Sabonis ends up playing minutes over Melo,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's just so
Just irksome.
sad.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably
a
what
lot of locker room problems going on.
Justin's
figure it
pick,
out.
number 36.
I hated you for taking Domas because I took Joe Smith.
Woo! Former
And-
number 1 pick.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there are like,
Whom?
who is Joe Smith?
The most.
Look how old he looks in that
He
picture.
is
In fact,
just
I thought that while I put this together.
Oh,
Who?
God.
Who is this guy?
So
he looks
he
47.
he spent a lot of time being a journeyman, played 36 games with the Thunder, started 3, averaged 6.6 points, 4.5 rebounds.
How many
Which was
seasons he
nice.
played in the NBA?
Oh God, a lot.
A lot. Number 1 pick, and he
man.
was in the NBA forever.
Looks like it.
He his first season he was 20 years old,
Follows
95,
up-
96
Wow.
with Golden State back when they were awful.
Follows us on Twitter.
Oh,
Really?
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, that's
Cool.
right.
sorry about the question marks, but
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't
He
listen.
just blocked us. Wow. Yeah, he was a guy that I know nothing about.
Yeah.
And moving on.
It was veteran leadership, something.
Yeah.
You guys ready for this final round?
yes.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
go into it.
Let's do it. What
I'm
you got,
really
Justin?
All right, 37th pick.
DJ White.
We're in the weeds. We are in the weeds.
I remember looking like DJ White when I saw him
And
play.
yet
I was
again-
like, he could have been
Who is this guy?
could have been
Never heard of him.
Could have been pretty okay. Had a malign or sorry, not malign. It was benign. I apologize.
Oh.
Benign growth removed in his jaw. Missed the first 5 months of his rookie season, the first one in Oklahoma City, and never really got going after that.
But
had-
if he were
was
like a
decent.
real asshole.
He had potential.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And he was a guy, if I'm remembering this correctly, that I feel like it was easy to confuse him and Harden on the court together because they both had short beards at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, obviously DJ White's a little bigger than Harden, but I would always
Looks
be
like he had better
"Oh."
teeth at the time.
Yeah, just look at the
Definitely better teeth. Rob, what you
Alright.
got?
So
30
with my last pick, the team with a bunch of misfits goes with DeAndre Liggins.
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
What's he got there?
He's got an Xbox.
Yes. It's his favorite tool.
When we start to lose, there will be Xboxes flying on that court. I tell you right now. Allegedly dropped an Xbox on his
Threw it.
girlfriend. We don't. I mean, he didn't throw it. He
Allegedly.
might have dropped it slightly when he was moving it to a different
I don't
TV.
know about this.
Liggins is a guy who's still creeping around the league. He's still just kind of
Yeah.
hanging around, man.
Yeah.
And can you think of a more Thunder player, like a prototype?
Outside
Yeah.
of the criminal activity,
Outside of that,
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean,
like-
allegedly.
Yeah,
though.
allegedly.
He was
Just
definitely
plays
convicted,
defense,
though.
like that's all he really does. All right, next pick. 39th, Sean Livingston. Now, I will say, most people watching this were like, what? He played for the Thunder?
Barely.
Sure did.
18 games, averaged 4, 2, and 2. Couldn't stay healthy. He was eventually released by the Thunder. But I needed a backup point guard. I have Raymond Felton.
Yep.
And he wasn't terrible in a Thunder uniform. His per 36 averages were actually pretty good. But I do feel like this is cheating a bit. Because I'm going to put my team out there, and when they're going to see I have Sean Livingston on it, that's going to give me a boost. Because that name, it's going to be hard to
Yeah.
separate that name
He's a champion.
with who he was as the Thunder player and who he
You
is
cheated.
now.
You cheated.
I mean, it feels a little like
A
cheating.
damn cheater.
But, I'm trying to win, guys.
you have to take Joe
He's just
Smith now. You have to take Joe Smith and switch.
Live trade.
Yeah.
Like, just so you guys know, like, everyone's voting for Jason here because he has Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
I
We know
agree.
this, right?
True.
Like, it's,
Everybody,
it's-
I hope you listened.
Yeah.
and Mr. Irrelevant in this draft, the last pick,
Mr. Lance Thomas.
fits him.
the most.
Love it. Love it. Great pick by me. He was the only person left that had scored any points. So I needed him.
So, do you guys remember, like, Lance Thomas randomly had to start that season?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the sports animal hadn't ever predicted that he would ever start. And he gets the start, so they don't have a sounder for like, all the players, like, say their own name when they're introduced
like
in the
their
starting
favorite thing,
lineups
remember?
on radio. They didn't have one, so they had to get someone in the studio and just record. And so it's like, number 0, Russell Westbrook. And then it's Lance Thomas, number 42.
Kind of a question. Is it Lance Thomas?
It's a very just white guy that has no business saying his name. It was so weird.
And the thing is he seems like a guy that actually could have hung around and been okay. Like he's been all right in New York, and
Yeah,
they
still
like him. They
hanging
give
in
him
there.
an extension.
Yeah.
Which it is New York, so
Like, what was their other option? But
right.
still.
Well, and I don't know if you can necessarily like give them credit for
For being-
giving anyone an extension.
Like making any decision that was good.
they're the reason
They did
the
get rid of
Thunder
Melo.
are in this situation. So
Last look.
before we move on, you're right. Let's look at the teams. Everyone read their own team. How about that?
All right. So I got Russell Westbrook, Enes Kanter, Kevin Martin, Jeff Green, Jerami Grant, Kendrick Perkins, Patrick Patterson, Eric Maynor, Terrence Ferguson, and Lance Thomas.
And by the way, I just tweeted out our teams so people have an opportunity to
Lance
vote.
Thomas?
How do you feel about your team, Jason? How do you feel like you did? What's your depth chart? Are you at your depth chart here?
No, I am not, but I can be. Here we go. So yeah, I mean, I'm starting Russ, obviously. Kevin Martin, Jeff Green, Jerami Grant, and Enes Kanter. I don't feel particularly great about my ability
Starting
to
Grant and Cantor
Yeah.
down low is scary.
It is weird.
Well, you also got
But-
you got that team name too. You want?
Yeah, the defenseless Russells is my team name.
Yeah.
Because there is no defense here, and I mean, I'm kind of just sticking with hoping to outscore you guys, which you guys have a lot of good defense, so that's probably going to be a problem.
Well, my team, I'll just go ahead and read the depth chart. I'm going to start Raymond Felton.
First of all, your team name.
My team name is Validate This Team because I have Kevin Durant on my team. And I'm going to need you guys to validate it, please.
Snake ass bitch.
Point guard, Raymond Felton. Shooting guard, Victor Oladipo. I got Roberson at the 3, and I'm playing Durant at the 4. Risky. A lot of work involved with him. He's going to have to rebound.
Weak-minded.
Taj Gibson's at my center. I'm small up front, guys. I'm not big, but, backup point
And your
guard.
team isn't either, though. You know?
My bench is Sean Livingston, Alex Abrinas, Jeremy Lamb, Nick Collison, who probably is going to be my 6th man, and Chris Wilcox. I feel okay about my team, guys. I like the toughness, and when it comes down to it, you can really ride the scoring of Kevin Durant.
I do have a question. Who's your leader of your team? Because we know.
Felton.
Yeah. Okay.
Raymond
That works.
Felton.
That works. All right, Rob.
All right, so
What's the name of your team?
I went with Center of Nowhere, which
Got no centers.
is gonna make sense because when Ron Butler coming through at the 3, and then we gotta have Melo in the starting lineup.
Of course.
So Melo's
No question about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no options there.
All right, so Melo is starting at the power forward, and then we had Serge, who's he's gonna start at center. No big deal.
Yeah.
That's-
I mean,
That'll work out great.
we're fine. Everything's fine. Guys.
But we match up well. Taj Gibson, Serge,
Yeah.
small up front. Enes Kanter's going to get all of the rebounds on our team, by the way,
okay.
against our teams.
Yeah. So then we have backup point guard DJ Augustine. We got a couple backup shooting guards here with Corey Brewer, DeAndre Xbox Liggins, and then we got Jeremy Lamb's gonna back up.
You don't have Jeremy Lamb. That's my team.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
what
is
the
wrong.
hell? I did that wrong.
This is wrong.
Oh,
Good
no.
God.
Oh, he messed it up.
Oh, no.
There's 2 Jeremy
We had-
Lambs out
oh,
there.
So I had Daequan Cook,
Yep.
who's also
Disregard that.
who's going to be there, and then backup power forward / center. We're gonna have Sabonis, and I think that was everybody.
Yep.
What you got, Justin?
I got Reggie Jackson at the point guard, Thabo at the shooting guard, Steven Adams at center, Nenad Krstic. I'm doing it like they introduced starting lineups.
Nice.
I like it.
Nenad Krstic at the power forward, little wild card there, and then Paul George at the small forward. And then on the bench, Derek Fisher, Anthony Morrow, Doug McDermott, DJ White, and Joe Smith.
You got
Nice.
really solid wing defense in your starting lineup. A little worried about Krstic. Like, who the hell is he going to guard on my team?
He's not going to be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the scare here. I mean, starting him. And
I will say though, Thabo, Paul George, Steven Adams, those guys are gonna make up for quite a bit.
You know what? Nenad guards Andre Roberson.
yeah, that's
That's what I have to do, and just hope that backdoor cut doesn't kill me every time.
So who's going to guard Durant? Obviously Paul George or Cephalosha, I guess.
I'm gonna
You
probably,
you
I'm
know,
gonna give it
actually
to
you
Paul
might
George.
you might match up pretty well with my team.
I'm gonna go with Paul George. I'm gonna let Thabo take Oladipo.
I'm going to counter you by having Roberson guard Krstic.
Okay.
Why would
He's
you?
going to shut him down.
Yeah, I
He's not-
agree.
he's not
Okay.
getting any.
Beautiful.
What are you gonna do about Steven Adams?
Oh, well, I have Taj Gibson. He's just going to get up in him.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm a little worried about the boards, okay? It's gonna be a team effort here. That's why I got Andre Robertson also to help out with the rebounds. Here's some notables that went undrafted. This is important. Cole Aldridge, Randy Foy,
Yeah, I thought about Randy Foy.
Yeah.
Josh Eustace.
Nope, didn't think about it.
No one thought about this
I
guy.
actually did
Oh,
about Josh
I mean,
Eustace.
I don't think it would have been crazy if he'd have been
I needed
drafted.
some defense, but then I was like, nah.
Perry Jones, undrafted.
Yeah,
Thought about
I
him.
could see that.
That was-
Desmond Mason, this is probably the best player of this group. Desmond Mason, as far as numbers go. I didn't want him.
Yeah, but okay. See,
it just
the
'cause
thing
of his
is,
attitude?
He leaves your team. Eventually, like becomes a radio broadcaster in the area, and then just consistently shits on the team after
Yeah,
that.
no
So.
one wants that on your team.
Mm-mm.
It's a bad mojo. Nazi Muhammad,
I thought about him with the Joe Smith, but
blue guy.
yeah,
Mitch McGarry, Cameron Payne,
no.
Kyle Singler,
Absolutely not.
Hashim Thabit, and Earl Watson. Earl Watson might be the best player
Yeah.
on this.
Aaron Yount on YouTube said whoever ends up with Singler loses automatically. So it's a good
Fair.
thing nobody
Nice.
took him.
Does anyone have any opinions, unbiased opinions, on who you think has the best team?
I can't be unbiased.
I'm very
So
biased.
everyone's just for their
Yeah,
team.
we're all picking our own.
Oh, by the way, never Kiwi's Big Adventure. That's my team.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kiwi's Big Adventure.
Indeed.
Let's hit some notes.
Yeah, let's do it. Hold on a second.
Okay. By the way, that was fun, guys.
That was a good time.
It's fun to do different things like that, and you got to get creative in the summer when there's nothing going on. And I hope that everyone out there enjoyed it a little bit, and we'll get the graphics figured out
Fixed, yeah.
on the.
I've already
And,
fixed it.
and we'd like to hear from everybody else to say, even if you have somebody that you would have taken in a specific spot, let us know.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know why I agreed with that.
I mean,
Like,
it's a good. It's
I
a good
agree
point,
too.
so-
Just so you know.
yeah, okay.
Kevin Durant's got a new reason why he went to Golden State. He needed the validation from his peers.
Didn't work.
Why does he act like Why does he act like Oklahoma City never happened? Why does he act like he didn't win MVP? Why does he act like he didn't go to the finals?
Why does he always got to talk about it?
Because I think
It's a new story every time, too. It doesn't make any sense.
In his mind, if it didn't happen, he's not the terrible person that he is for leaving, and especially the way he did. And I think maybe that's
so.
What it is.
We open the pod with expiration dates. It's almost like when one thing hits its expiration date, he has to come up with a new thing.
Brought it back.
Yeah,
That's
Nice.
Full circle.
Reports say Boban Marjanovic will be casted as an assassin in John Wick Chapter 3.
God, I love this
Can
so much.
Boban pull this off?
Yes.
you guys ever seen those movies?
A little bit.
I
Just
saw-
the first one.
I
I
didn't know
saw
there was
1.5
three.
of them. I didn't quite make it to
It's
the
a
second one.
0.5 of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Killed his dog, you know.
So
Sad.
this was a terrible thing to bring up for this podcast. Thunder assistant Royale Ivy is finalizing a deal with the Knicks to work on David Fizdale's staff. Ivy,
Also didn't get picked in the draft.
also
very sad.
notable, he didn't have very good numbers.
Yeah. He was-
But he's from New York City, so makes sense that he's going back there. Congrats to Royale.
it's cool for him. Saw him at the mall once.
Hmm.
I don't know why I was at the mall.
That's in the
It's
notes.
disappointing.
Jason saw Royal Ivy the mall. The Nike Paul George 1s, PG 1s, were the most worn sneaker by active players' signature sneakers amongst NBA players this season. So his sneaker was worn the most by everyone else than any other sneaker in the NBA.
Indeed.
Do you like his shoes?
I do a lot.
Yeah, I don't like his 1s, but I like his 2s a little.
Yeah.
A lot. Former Oklahoma City assistant coach Monty Williams is joining Brett Brown's staff in Philadelphia. Congrats, Monty. It's good to see him
Yeah, that's awesome.
go to a good place like, well,
Now we're
I was
not
gonna
so
say a
sure
good
if
place like Philly, but you know,
the organization has had a
I guess
few
they just
problems or hiccups in the recent times.
and I guess it should be noted in the notes that Brian Colangelo has resigned. Huge quotes there. His wife is apparently the owner of all those Twitter accounts.
What a
Which-
disaster.
Way to throw her under
Let's
the
talk about
bus
the
there,
real
you
stuff here. Is that a deal breaker in the marriage?
It seems like they're going to try to work through it.
She took
From
one
what he
for
said.
the team here.
'Cause it was definitely him?
and
So you
it was
think-
definitely him.
Yeah.
And she took one for the team.
What if it wasn't? Okay, so what if all of this is exactly true the way it's laid out, and it was her? Is it a deal breaker? She cost him his job
She cost
and
him
his
more than
career,
that.
and
Yeah.
his career,
Yeah, he can't.
reputation.
Going to be hard to be a GM again for that guy.
Well, he's also really old, so what's he gonna do? He's
How
gonna
old is he?
divorce her and be like,
I don't know.
He looks like
I
he
guess
could
it
be anywhere from 38 to 74.
That's
I
true.
have
That's
no
very
idea
true.
how old he
Accurate.
is.
That's a good question, but I think it was him for sure.
Yeah.
And she's like I said, taking one for the team.
Or he could have been like, maybe he was at least like, I don't want to use the word smart in this situation, but maybe he was a little smart and said, "You set him up. That
Yeah.
way, it doesn't
it
come
comes
back.
back, it
But
won't
I'm
come
just
back.
gonna tell you what to tweet off of them.
He's 53, by the way.
But then also
I would have
we-
picked definitely closer to 74. I thought he was way older than that.
Maybe you're not a good age identifier.
No, I don't think I am.
I'm
though.
not either, especially with kids.
It's hard to tell with kids.
Is it? I don't. I
think
feel like
so.
I'm especially bad.
I'm bad with numbers in general, so I just stay away
You just
from
don't
them.
even know how to count.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to this
So, hey,
ridiculous.
quick
okay.
update.
Oh yeah, we do need to do that.
Quick update on the Paul George tweet, the poll that we had. How confident, or what is your level of confidence that Paul George will be back with the Thunder? 22% extremely confident he will come
wow.
back. 52% say it's still too early to know. 26% say he's gone.
Here you go.
Quick update on what we have so far on the teams,
Oh, God.
which obviously there's 2 Jeremy Lambs
Yeah,
out there, so we need to
disregard
update
that,
this, but
people.
it's not going to affect us too much. 49% say I have the best team.
This is
Yeah, because they say I
48%.
have Jeremy. It's
Hey.
the whole thing is
Hey,
I'm throwing the whole thing. out.
48%, thank you.
Okay.
Because I just voted for myself.
nice.
It still says 49 on my computer. 49% for me, 23% for Justin,
How am I a third?
15% for Jason.
What?
13%.
That camera back on me.
It's
No
because you
damn
got Melo.
jump shooting contest.
Kinda is
It is. It definitely is.
every time.
I mean, you have Dion Waiters and
Yeah, I don't-
Corey Brewer and
I think-
DJ Augustine.
The haters gonna hate those. What I say.
Waiters going to wait.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter at OKC Thunderheads. Keep voting on that poll. Keep telling us what you would do. Keep giving us ideas, what you want to hear about us, what you want to hear about going on this summer. We don't want to just keep pounding this PG coming back all throughout the summer. We want to keep it fun, man. because it could get sad.
It could get
So
real
we gotta
sad.
keep this thing fun.
Let's keep our hopes up while we can.
Subscribe on YouTube. Catch all of our podcasts live or on demand. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or anywhere else that podcasts are found. OKC Thunderheads, those are all your Thunder needs as well. We'll be back next week with a new one. Till then, and as always, Thunder up.